Hello, my name is William Masters, and this is my COMP3000 final year project on my game called Octopush the Game. So, Octopush the Game is a 2D top-down physics-based arcade game in which it tries to emulate the hockey experience in several fun little mini-games. The reason this was created was due to the lack of underwater hockey sessions due to the current COVID restrictions. So I wanted to create a game based off this real-world sport. So some of the main problems or the features of this game is the actual player controller or the player model itself, which is comprised up of several different parts all working together to create the playing experience. So there's the player controller, which controls all the players' movements, so moving back and forwards and turning left and right. There's the hand-to-mouse script, which gives a force to the player's hand in the direction of whatever the position of the mouse, so you can control where your stick is. There's the stick controller working on top of that, which controls if you're holding the stick to your left, to the right, or on its side, or if you're just not holding it down at all, which is controlled through the mouse clicks. And then there's just the whole player model itself, pulling it all together. So that's using pivots, that's using 2D physics, and just combines all those other features. This game is created for those who haven't been able to play so much underwater hockey within this past year. But it could also be like for the people who have never heard of the sport and are interested in it, or for those who just like unique indie games. So by far the proudest part is just the player character itself, with all the different parts working together. So you got the stick controller, letting you hold it in different ways, the breathing script, which here you have the oxygen meter, that just allows you to control it. Or when you're up, you can't interact with anything at the bottom of the ball. So by using all these components together, you can control the puck like you would in the real game, to complete these little mini games in as quick as time as you can. There you go. So there are two mini games for this game, the one I just showed you, and here's the PuckHunt one, which is where you get 30 seconds to bring as many of the pucks into the center target as you possibly can. And these two different game modes try and help the players refine the two different aspects of the game. The first one with the slalom being controlling the puck, and this one being managing your breathing. So with the longer play time of this mini game, you really have to keep an eye on how your oxygen meter is doing off here on the left. Having to go up for air, as you can't just stay down for the whole time. So I chose to do mini games instead of a fully fledged underwater hockey game, as a full game would have been way out of the project's scope. However, all the features are in place for future development upon the project, so this could be either developing AI or a multiplayer aspect for the game. So here's the Unity project working, and then here's the player prefab, and there's all the different parts. So the arms are all connected through pivots using rigid bodies. Here's the stick controller with the different parts of it. The way that works is it has its normal sticks, which are the three different types of ways of holding it, and it can just alternate between them depending on what mouse keys you're holding. And then there's the dummy stick, which it can switch to, which is just essentially the stick it will show when you're on top of the water. This disables all the other sticks with hitboxes and just has a plain sprite, so you can't interact with anything on the floor. Overall, I've really enjoyed this final year project. I've learned a lot, including Unity's physics engine and some of its new components like the hinge joints. And then I've also learned a lot, especially on the importance of project management and the planning of the project. As the initial planning of my project wasn't the best, so it really made me struggle with all my sprints in the long run. But in the end, I still created a fun little prototype of a game that I'm very proud of.